Sit back and throw one back with your pinky in the air and a middle finger to the world, and join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, as we look back on this day in pro wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get our wrestling history on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is June 6th, and we're going to start off as we always do on a positive note. That's right, these are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1921, former Worldwide Wrestling Federation United States Tag Team Champion and longtime partner of Skull Murphy, Brute Bernard. 1965, former WWF Intercontinental Champion Ahmed Johnson. 1974, Deathmatch veteran Too Tough Tony. 1978, Hide Your Flasks, it's ODB. 1982, he's no longer a forgotten son, Jackson Riker. And 1985, Drew McIntyre. Of course, on the flip side of that coin, your pro wrestling deaths for June 6th. Two former WWF United States Tag Team Champions. First, 1991, Skull Murphy. 2016, Dan Miller. Alright, enough of the sad stuff. It's time to get to the meat and potatoes. That's right, these are your pro wrestling history highlights for June 6th. Jumping in the Wayback Machine and going all the way to 1930, where we see Jim Londos defeat Dick Chicotte for the NWA, National Wrestling Association, World Heavyweight title in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Hitting super fast forward to 1979, Vern Gagne and Mad Dog Vachon defeat Pat Patterson and Ray Stevens for the AWA World Tag Team titles in Canada. Grabbing my boombox and going to the 80s, 1981, Jake Roberts defeats the Grappler for the Mid-South North American Heavyweight title. Skipping ahead 4 years to 1985, Ken Patera and Mr. Saito are found guilty of charges filed against them following the infamous McDonald's incident in Wisconsin, when Patera threw a boulder through a window at a closed McDonald's when the staff refused to reopen and serve them. This led to a confrontation with police later on, and the two men were arrested on charges that were filed. Patera was convicted of 2 counts of battery on a police officer and 1 count of criminal damage to property. Saito was convicted of 3 counts of battery on a police officer and 1 count of obstructing the law. Our last stop in 1989, the WWF run a massive Superstars of Wrestling taping with over 24 matches. Grabbing my flannel and going to the decade of grunge, 1993, Shawn Michaels defeats Marty Jannetty for the WWF Intercontinental title in Albany, New York at a non-televised event with the help of his new bodyguard, Diesel, Kevin Nash. This would be Michaels' second run with the Intercontinental title. The appearance of Diesel would be Nash's WWF debut after a run in WCW under a number of characters, most recently, Vinny Vegas. 1994, the Dream Machine Troy Graham defeats Brian Christopher for the USWA Southern Heavyweight title in Memphis, Tennessee, ending his 13th run with that title. Making 2 stops in 1997, first, WCW United States Champion Dean Malenko defends his title twice in one night, first successfully defending against Alex Wright, and then going to a double DQ against Rey Mysterio Jr. And our second stop in 1997, Taz defeats Shane Douglas for the ECW World Television title. Those were your short but sweet pro wrestling history highlights for June 6th. I'm the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.